said, the building behind me here, the historic Houses of Parliament, is indeed full of crybabies. But very soon it could be full of even more crybabies. And a lot of people aren't happy with this news. But why? Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London today. I hope you're all keeping well. Hey, thank you so much for all your kind comments about that looming award from YouTube. Yes, as soon as it arrives, trust me, I'll share it with you all. It is you that got the award, trust me. You are the supporters, our community, our friends. It's really indebted to you as to why they decided to award me one. Can't believe it, as I say, never really win anything. By the way, does anybody ever go to the lottery? I had no numbers this week. Terrible. And a lot of people say, don't they, oh, I don't know what I'd do if I won the lottery. You think, I think I do. But I didn't even get one lucky dip. I don't know what it's like in your part of the world. We have, of course, Lotto or National Lottery, but I know around the world they have many other things. Hey, let me know, have you ever won anything on the lottery? Even just £10? I've won nothing. But back as ever to your breaking news story of the day. Now, a lot of people, of course, may say that we've already seen enough of crybabies here in the Houses of Parliament because every week we have Prime Minister's Question Time. This is where the leading party of the day gets to put his cases, his arguments against, of course, the party that's not in power, which is currently led by Sir Keir Starmer. Now, it's interesting because it's possibly one of the most fiery times in Parliament. It is interesting to say the least. But now a brand new rule is being given, which has caused even more havoc than perhaps even the suffragettes. But what is it? Well, basically the law or the new rule is this. The leader of the House of Commons, Lindsay Hoyle, has said, yes, it would be okay if people were to bring in their young babies to Parliament. Now, of course, as we often say here on the show, we have to be impartial. But this has caused absolute outrage, and let me explain the reasons why. Because a lot of people are saying, oh yes, it's a good thing, working mothers, blah, 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 all of that sort of stuff. And in sort of essence, you have to agree with that statement. It's very difficult if you're a working mum or indeed a working single father. We know how difficult it can be. But also there's lots of companies around the world that simply wouldn't be able to offer this particular service. But even, of course, some of the Conservative members have argued the fact that this isn't truly a good idea. And they point out this analogy. It's truly all down to the fact that an average MP over here in the United Kingdom earns around £83,000 a year. That's their salary. Then, of course, they have their expenses. So why on earth, a lot of people are arguing, can they not simply just afford childcare and get on with the job without the hassle of having to bring the baby into Parliament? A lot of people also cite that this simply could be rather disruptive. But the leader of the House of Commons claims that if anybody is disruptive or babies start to scream and cry, they will be asked to leave the chamber. Again, all rather confusing because a lot of people are saying that could disrupt a rather, shall we say, fervent argument. For now, though, it looks like that particular law, case, ruling, whichever you want to call it, could be winning. And as Parliament resumes in the new year, it will be interesting to see who decides to bring their baby to work. Now, as I often say here on the show, we support all sorts. And I really am kind of intrigued to see whether it will work or not. But of course, a lot of people are stating that it simply won't. There is no place in the House of Commons to bring children. And moving forward, the argument by people at ground level, the real working people, the people who cannot afford childcare, say, well, why are we not afforded the same luxury? So once again, those at the top have created even more, well, shall we say, diversity, argument, and of course, divide for those seemingly at the bottom. As ever, I'd love to know what you think about this particular story. Does this happen in your part of the world? Or in fact, if you're watching here in the United Kingdom, do you agree with this? Or do you simply think it shouldn't be allowed at all? Look forward to your comments as ever. Neil Sean, Houses of Parliament, London.